Did you know that over 700 million people globally live on less than $1.90 a day? This staggering figure barely scratches the surface of what poverty really means. It's not just about being unable to afford the next meal. It's about lacking access to clean water, education, healthcare, and even the opportunity to make a better life. Stay tuned as we uncover the invisible handcuffs of social norms and the transformative power of community-led initiatives. Get ready to be inspired by success stories that prove poverty can be overcome, against all odds. Ready to find out why escaping poverty is so challenging and what can be done to change that? Let's get started. Chapter 1. Understanding Poverty, Definitions and Dimensions. Poverty is more than just a lack of money. It's a multifaceted issue that involves several dimensions of deprivation. The World Bank defines poverty in terms of income, setting the threshold at living on less than $1.90 a day. However, this definition only scratches the surface. Poverty also encompasses a lack of access to essential services such as healthcare, education, and opportunities to improve one's life. The United Nations uses a broader measure, considering factors like education and health, which it calls multidimensional poverty. The dimensions of poverty can vary widely between regions, urban and rural areas, and among different groups in society. For instance, while urban poverty might focus more on housing and sanitation, rural poverty often ties more closely with access to productive resources like land and water. These differences are crucial in understanding why poverty persists and where interventions might be most needed. Chapter 2. The Vicious Cycle. How Poverty Self-Perpetuates. One of the main reasons escaping poverty is so challenging is the vicious cycle it creates. Children born into poverty often face underfunded schools, poor healthcare, and limited access to nutritious food. This environment impedes their physical and cognitive development, diminishing their ability to succeed academically and, later, economically. Moreover, poverty often forces families to prioritize short-term survival over long-term investments like education. For example, children might be pulled out of school to work, trapping them in low-skilled, low-paying jobs that perpetuate the cycle of poverty across generations. Additionally, economic research shows that the stress of poverty itself can lead to decision fatigue and impaired cognitive function, making it harder to make choices that could break the cycle. Chapter 3. Barriers to Education, Schooling and Beyond. Education is often hailed as a powerful tool for escaping poverty, but numerous barriers prevent it from being a universal solution. In many developing countries, schools lack basic resources like books, safe buildings, and qualified teachers. This makes learning environments less effective and can discourage attendance. Additionally, indirect costs such as uniforms and transportation can put schooling out of reach for the poorest families. But the issue extends beyond primary education. Secondary and higher education, which are crucial for securing better-paying jobs, remain inaccessible for many due to higher costs and fewer schools in rural areas. The result is a truncated educational journey that limits future opportunities and perpetuates poverty. Chapter 4. Employment Challenges, the Reality of Low-Wage Jobs. For those who manage to enter the workforce, escaping poverty is still an uphill battle due to the prevalence of low-wage jobs. Many sectors that employ the poor offer unstable employment, lack benefits, and are prone to exploitation. For example, the informal sector, which employs a significant portion of workers in developing economies, typically offers no job security or health benefits, making economic advancement tough. Furthermore, technological advancements and globalization can often sideline low-skilled workers, either through automation or by moving jobs to regions with cheaper labor costs. This economic shift creates a paradox where the global economy grows, but the income gap widens, making it harder for the poor to find stable, well-paying jobs. The realities of these employment challenges illustrate the complex layers that need to be navigated in the fight against poverty. Chapter 5. Health and Poverty, a Two-Way Street. Health issues and poverty create a mutually reinforcing cycle. Poor health limits a person's ability to work, reducing their earning potential, while poverty contributes to poor health due to inadequate nutrition, unsanitary living conditions, and limited access to medical care. This vicious cycle is particularly evident in areas affected by endemic diseases like malaria or tuberculosis, which are more prevalent in regions lacking the resources to manage and prevent them. Moreover, the financial burden of healthcare can be catastrophic for a family already living on the edge. In countries without universal healthcare, a single illness can deplete savings or lead to crippling debt. The World Health Organization, WHO, estimates that each year, approximately 100 million people are pushed into extreme poverty due to healthcare expenses. This highlights the need for more robust health systems that can reach the underserved and protect them from the financial shocks that poor health can bring. Chapter 6. Housing and Living Conditions, the Stability Factor. Secure and stable housing is a fundamental human need and a critical component of escaping poverty. However, for many, this is out of reach. Inadequate housing can exacerbate existing health problems, restrict access to job opportunities, and limit children's educational achievements. Slums, often lacking in basic services like clean water and sanitation, are a stark representation of housing inadequacy in many urban areas around the world. Urbanization brings hope of better opportunities but also challenges in managing growth sustainably. Rapidly growing cities often struggle to provide affordable housing, pushing poorer populations into increasingly overcrowded and under-resourced areas. Addressing this issue involves not only building more homes but also ensuring that they are affordable and that their locations do not perpetuate further social and economic isolation. Chapter 7. Financial Literacy and Access, Bridging the Information Gap. Financial literacy is crucial for making informed financial decisions, which can be a key factor in escaping poverty. Understanding basic financial concepts such as saving, budgeting, and the wise use of credit can empower individuals to manage their limited resources more effectively. However, many living in poverty lack access to financial education, which hampers their ability to improve their economic standing. Additionally, access to financial services, including savings accounts, loans, and insurance, remains limited for the poor. The unbanked population, which amounts to billions globally, finds it difficult to save securely, borrow affordably, and insure against risks. Innovations such as mobile banking have begun to bridge this gap by providing financial services through mobile devices, which are increasingly common even in poorer regions. Chapter 8. Social and Cultural Factors, the Invisible Handcuffs. Social and cultural norms can also play a significant role in perpetuating poverty. In many societies, certain groups may face systemic barriers due to their ethnicity, gender, or social status, which can limit their educational and economic opportunities. For instance, in some cultures, girls are less likely to be sent to school than boys, severely limiting their future employment opportunities and perpetuating a cycle of gendered poverty. Moreover, social networks and the community's cultural capital can influence an individual's ability to improve their socio-economic status. Those born into communities with fewer resources and lower aspirations may not only have fewer opportunities but may also lack the role models and support networks needed to pursue those that exist. Chapter 9. Government Policies and Aid, Help or Hindrance. Government policies play a critical role in either alleviating or exacerbating poverty. Effective social safety nets, educational reforms, and healthcare policies can significantly reduce poverty levels by providing a buffer against the cyclical nature of poverty. However, corruption, inefficient bureaucracies, and poorly designed policies can often do more harm than good, entrenching poverty rather than alleviating it. In developing countries, foreign aid can be a powerful tool for poverty reduction, but it must be carefully managed to ensure it reaches those in need without creating dependency. Aid effectiveness often hinges on transparency, accountability, and alignment with the recipient country's developmental goals. Critics argue that aid can sometimes undermine local economies by focusing on short-term relief rather than long-term sustainable development. Chapter 10. Breaking the Cycle, Success Stories and Strategies. Despite the overwhelming challenges, there are success stories and effective strategies that show promise in breaking the cycle of poverty. Microfinance initiatives, for example, have empowered entrepreneurs in impoverished communities to start small businesses and achieve economic independence. Education programs targeted at young girls and adult education have shown significant returns in terms of income and health outcomes. Community-based approaches, which involve local stakeholders in the planning and execution of poverty reduction strategies, have also proven effective. These programs ensure that solutions are culturally relevant and sustainable. Additionally, integrating technology, such as digital education tools and telemedicine, can overcome traditional barriers and provide new avenues for escaping poverty.